Why do we need a wider casting arc when we're casting further or faster? Or perhaps counterintuitively, it's more to do with loop geometry than it is to do with brute power. Casting further or faster bends the rod more, and that shortens the distance between the tip and the butt of the rod, which is also called the chord length. To maintain a straight line tip path, a long chord length requires a narrow casting arc. Casting further or faster bends the rod more. When we bend the rod more, we shorten the chord length. When we shorten the chord length, we need to widen the casting arc. When we cast with a casting arc that's too narrow for the amount of bend that we're putting in the rod, we end up with a concave tip path like this. That will produce tailing loops every time. If we have a casting arc that's too wide, we get a concave tip path like this. Wide casting arc, same chord length, gives us a domed tip path. That produces wide loops. There is a casting arc that's just right for every bend in the rod. That'll produce a straight line tip path, and that gives us nice efficient casts with narrow loops. So, if we have too much bend in the rod for the amount of casting arc that we're using, we end up with a tailing loop. If we have too little bend in the rod for the casting arc that we're using, we end up with a domed loop. We don't want that. So the amount of bend that we're putting in the rod is what determines the casting arc, not the distance that we're casting or the speed that we're casting. It's the bend in the rod that determines what gives us the best casting arc to give us a nice straight tip path.